What's up, everybody? Welcome back to YouTube's favorite couple here, Worlds Collide. I'm JW. This Ms Diva Talks.
What's up, y'all?
And this time we're watching something here in light of after Thanksgiving. 10 foods that were invented for another purpose. So, I love food. You love food. We love food. So, let's see what 10 foods that were invented here. This is coming from a mindful purpose. So, I'm hungry. Let's get into it, shall we?
I don't think that was the name of the channel, but we'll see in a minute. All right, here we go.
Hello everyone. Have you ever thought about how lucky we all are? We all live in a blessed time where the shelves in supermarkets are full of food and everyone, literally everyone, can easily find a treat for their taste. Few people know, however, that many famous and popular products hide a lot of secrets. And no, we're not necessarily talking about their ingredients. We mean why and for whom they were originally created. For example, people still talk about the creation of Franco-Americans' canned SpaghettiOs, a popular product in the 1980s. Who decided to can a portion of cooked pasta? And what about Coca-Cola's alcohol issues? Healing meat steaks? Or flakes that make everyone kinder? Can't wait to find out? Then let's get it on. 7UP. It's a little hard to believe, but the first product we're going to talk about today will celebrate its anniversary in just 9 years. In 1929, it will be 100 years since it was first prepared. The Howdy Corporation, founded by Charles Liper Grigg in 1920, originally specialised in the production of orange-flavoured drinks. However, there was already a popular orange soda on the market, so he had to come up with something new to increase sales. Thus, in 1929, Grigg thought of creating a refreshing drink that would taste like lemon and lime. The resulting product was unlike any other drink and quickly gained popularity. However, at that time, almost 100 years ago, it was not called 7UP, but bib label lithiated lemon lime soda, and it only got its current name by 1936. And it's time you learned about its main secret. The drink was wildly popular, not just because of its unusual taste. The fact is that originally 7UP contained lithium citrate. Today, this mood stabilizer is used by doctors to treat manic states and bipolar disorder. Previously, there was a popular belief that lithium dissolves uric acid, which causes a huge number of diseases. For this reason, lithium citrate was a popular additive. Well, 7UP, or rather its predecessor, was sort of a medicinal drink. It wasn't until 1948 that the substance was removed from the beverage, after its use was banned in the US. Graham crackers. The story of how this product was invented is very interesting. Graham crackers are a delicious treat which can be used to make pie crusts, consumed in the original form, or as s'mores with chocolate and marshmallow. Either way, it's a sweet...
Now I want a s'more.
I want some s'mores, man. This probably was not the best video to do when you're hungry. I'm not hungry, but I'm hungry.
Oh, gosh.
Man, I want some s'mores.
Eaten, not very healthy treat. In the past, however, it used to be very different. The Reverend Sylvester Graham was responsible for the creation of the Graham crackers. He was famous for sticking to strict limits in his food. The man, who lived in the early 19th century, believed that in order to stay healthy, people must stop enjoying their food. His diet was vegetarian and consisted mainly of bread made from coarse ground flour. As he preached actively, Graham built up a whole bunch of supporters, and it was for these people that Graham flour and then Graham crackers were invented. Despite the fact that the Reverend himself didn't create the crackers and had nothing to do with their production, the snack still bears his name.
I eat a honey-made Graham from Nabisco.
Since the beginning of mass production in 1898, the recipe has been modified repeatedly, but in our opinion, this is only for the best. Coca-Cola.
Alright.
The most popular non-alcoholic drink in the world has more secrets than you think. It is generally believed that Coca-Cola was created on May the 8th, 1886. However, this is only true if we're talking about the classic version of the drink. In fact, Coke's history started even earlier, around 1863. It was then that the French alchemist Angelo Mariani developed the recipe for coca wine. This alcoholic beverage was created from coca leaves and was extremely popular. Even famous personalities
It was cocaine and Coca-Cola.
Hell yeah.
such as Jules Verne, Alexander Dumas, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle were fond of it. At the same time, there was a pharmacist named John Stith Pemberton, who lived in America. He was involved in the Civil War, during which he became a morphine addict. In an attempt to find a cure for it, he came across information about coca wine. Pemberton came up with the idea of creating his own version of the magic beverage, and that's how Pemberton's French wine coca appeared. The product was marketed as a cure-all for many diseases: nervous disorders, physical and mental exhaustion, constipation, headaches, nervous breakdown, impotence, and of course, morphine addiction. It was miraculous. Soon, however, the recipe had to be changed. The temperaments movement in 1886 led to the appearance of a non-alcoholic version. However, before becoming the drink that we all know and love, Coca-Cola went through a lot of transformations. After all, it was originally patented as a cure for nerve disorders. Cornflakes.
Who would have thought?
Oddly enough, this simple...
Who would have thought Coca-Cola started out medical, basically. And now it rots your teeth out and gives you bad kidneys if you don't drink enough water. And the old urban legend that used to have Coke in it back in the day.
Well, that was just confirmed.
Yeah. So, man, good Coke.
What a time to be alive.
OG Coke was amazing. The American Cokes is not that good. If you're gonna get Coke, get the glass Cokes and glass Sprites, because that's made from, doesn't have half the shit that we got in ours. It's Mexican Coke and Sprite, and it's real sugar in it, cane sugar, and it's real bubbly, and it's
instead of corn syrup.
Yeah. If you ever want to go get authentic chocolates and pops that's here, go to the duty free store at any border crossing here, and you're gonna get the best world ever for you.
All right.
And it's tax free.
A delicious breakfast is related to Reverend Graham, the one we mentioned before. Cornflakes were distributed under the brand Kellogg's Cornflakes and marketed as part of Graham's diet. According to the creators' beliefs, they had the ability to reduce indigestion and even fix morally destructive behavior. It all started in the late 19th century. Graham's vegetarian movement was taking over the country, and his followers were actively experimenting with different kinds of grains. The idea was straightforward then, creating new, more affordable and cheaper foods that would be aligned with the Reverend's commandments. Cornflakes, however, were not the result of trial and error. To be honest, it was a completely accidental invention. On May the 31st, 1895, John Harvey Kellogg and his younger brother Will Keith Kellogg were working with wheat. The men boiled the grains, left them to cool, and went to the health resort where they worked as caretakers. When the men returned, they found that the wheat had turned hard. Since the brothers didn't have much money, they didn't throw it away. The men rolled it out, hoping to get some kind of dough sheet. To their greatest surprise, the result was some delicate flakes. The brothers then toasted them, fed their patients, and very soon the new dish became popular in the sanitarium. After experimenting with other grains, the Kellogg brothers eventually realized that corn was the best option. In 1907, the product was introduced to the general public. However, in order to make cornflakes appeal to everyone, they decided to sweeten them, and that's how the popular breakfast came into being. Dr. Pepper. This is the third soda on our list, but what can we do if many popular drinks were originally created not only to quench your thirst? Despite the fact that Coca-Cola is still one of the most popular drinks in the world, Dr. Pepper appeared at about the same time. By the way, the protagonist of this story is also a pharmacist, Charles Alderton, a resident of Waco, Texas. When he invented his drink in 1885, he decided to sell it in pharmacies as a medicine. He made some very serious medical claims in the very first adverts. According to him, Dr. Pepper could improve digestion, give you strength, make people more energetic.
Noticing a trend.
You know what I noticed though with this one? So it's another pop that was started out in the pharmacy. That, as we know, gives you good medicine. Burners.
Burners.
So that also started in the pharmacy too.
It's still our medicine though.
And it's still our medicine, and Burners helps, everything. Upset stomach, you good. You got a cold, you good. You got COVID, you good.
I think even like my grandparents would like warm it.
Yeah. You can also do a hot toddy version of that too.
Yep.
I did that. That's how I got through my first COVID back in February last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Burners, man.
And active. It sounded like a nice tonic drink. Nothing of it was true, of course. However, because of the large amount of sugar in the drink, people did feel a small rush of energy. Salisbury Steak. If you come across a Salisbury Steak in the supermarket, you should know that once upon a time it was one...
I don't like Encore though. It's gotta be Banquet. The one they just showed in the yellow box.
Oh no!
I like the red box.
Yeah,
Banquet.
yeah, me too. Okay, Marie Callender's for me though.
Oh gosh.
No.
Widely considered a cure for many diseases. The creator of this delicious dish is believed to be American physician James Salisbury. During the US Civil War, he worked as a military doctor. That's when he found out that diarrhea, which affected soldiers on a massive scale, could be stopped with a special diet. Coffee, lean chopped beefsteak, and nothing else. A little later, he became fond of healthy foods and strict diets, but his idea of healthy was very peculiar. Salisbury believed that people are predators, and that's why we have fangs. The doctor also believed that vegetables and food containing starch were the cause of most diseases, and that's how he got the idea for Salisbury steak. It's minced beef seasoned with onions and spices. The resulting steak is roasted or boiled and served with brown sauce. Since 1888, Salisbury has actively promoted this dish as a path to health and longevity. He suggested eating it 3 times a day with plenty of water to cleanse the digestive system. Goo.
Wow.
Yeah, but too much.
I never
meat,
knew that.
Yeah, but too much meat also messes up it's not good for you either.
Well, maybe they didn't know that back then. You know,
Yeah.
science has to catch up.
So I forgot what too much meat does to your body. I don't know if it's colon cancer or whatever, but yeah, too much meat is bad for
I
you.
think it has something to do with the colon.
Yeah. For all the doctors who may watch this, or health people, or health nuts, or
Let us know in the comments.
vegan people,
Vegetarians.
vegetarians. Thank you.
Vegan.
Thank you. Let us know in the comments if it's true or not.
Clusters. There was a terrible period in US history known as the Great Depression. In 1929, the stock market collapsed, which led to an economic crisis. And so, like dominoes, one after another, the consequences began to affect companies and then ordinary people. The unemployment rate jumped from 3 to 25%. Another disaster was a drought that destroyed many crops all over the country. People who had jobs were considered lucky, but even they didn't always have enough money to feed themselves. Why are we telling you all this though? Well, because Goo Goo Cluster cookies are an important part of this story. In the 20s and 30s, they only cost a nickel and were actively promoted as a nutritious, high-calorie lunch. Since the working class was constantly undernourished, Goo Goo Cluster were indeed very valuable. These treats were delicious and relatively inexpensive. Chewing gum. Up to the 1760s, people actively used various resins as gum, but we wanted to talk about the chewing gum we consume today. It all started when Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna fled to New York, taking a large number of chicle with him. Chicle is a natural gum harvested from Mesoamerican trees. The general sold the chicle to New York inventor Thomas Adams. He tried to use it to create a replacement for rubber, but none of his attempts were successful. Then Adams remembered the general's habit of chewing chicle and tried to make a chewing gum out of it. The first batch of chewing gum was sent to the stores in 1871 and surprisingly sold out almost immediately. Thomas Adams continued manufacturing it, learned how to add flavors, and so gradually his chewing gum conquered the world. Brandy. The history of this strong drink is closely linked to the history of wine. The fact is that in the 17th century, merchants didn't transport wine in the most usual way. Before transportation, excess water was removed from the drink. Needless to say, it reduced in volume. This was a great idea, because, first of all, it was easier to transport it, and secondly, trade taxes were reduced. It was very easy to return the wine to its original state. You just had to add the same amount of water. Traders did this for quite a long time, until at one moment something went wrong, so to say. Someone drank the concentrated wine and realized that after being stored in a wooden barrel, it tasted much better than wine. That's basically how brandy was created. Since then, grape wine has been distilled not for transportation, but to produce this spirit. However, brandy has another chapter in its story as well. It was first produced in France in 1313. However, it was used exclusively as a cure. Doctors called it the water of life. Cheese puff.
Everything. See, I told you, drinking is good for you. I told you.
Oh, that's the excuse you want to make?
Exactly. And two, whoever figured that out with the brandy was like, I'm thirsty. This is good.
Tastes pretty good after we do all of what we have to do to make it easier to transport.
Right. Might as well sell this too. Let's see what the big old Cheeto head talking about here.
The last product we're going to talk about today is cheese puffs. Turns out they also appeared by accident. Strange as it may seem, it all started at an animal feed factory in the 1930s. Corn kernels were actively ground and flaked here using large industrial machines. One day, Edward Wilson noticed something strange. The waste corn powder blew up from the heat, turning into unusual puffs. After some experiments, he managed to create a snack, and it wasn't actually that hard. He only had to add spices.
It's not easy being cheesy.
Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets?
So cheese puffs was basically the scraps of something else.
I've noticed all the foods and stuff were just accidents. Like Kellogg's, I knew 'cause I did a paper. We all had to do a paper project on it because it's based here.
Mine wasn't on Kellogg's. It was on Pepsi. But
Mine was
yeah,
on Kellogg's.
anyway.
We actually did a tour of the Pepsi plant downtown. Well, not downtown, but just outside in the city when it's closing soon. When it's should be closing soon. So we did a field trip there when we was in
Where is
elementary
it?
school. It's on the east side.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on the west side. Might be. I don't know. I'll look it up. Doesn't matter right now. But more of the story. I also did one there and seeing how they make it, and then it's funny how to see that all the foods that we love and enjoy created by accident.
Started off as accidents.
The best
Kind of
thing.
like the Post-it notes.
I never knew that.
Remember- You didn't know that? The guy was actually trying to make a super glue,
Yeah,
but it got on paper and realized it worked better.
better.
Yeah.
The best
Or
things in life
however
are
that story goes.
the best things in life are created from accidents.
Yeah, tell that to our parents.
I wasn't an accident, but the link with if you like this video, hit the
Yeah.
thumbs up sign. Let us know what you think in the comments. All that fun stuff. The link to this guy's channel is going to be in the description as well too, so you can go ahead and check him out. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so that way you guys can know when we drop new content.
If you're pointing in the right directions.
Subscribe, notification bell. Yeah, same thing. But either way, make sure you subscribe. The link to where you can catch us on our own respective channels and everything is going to be in the link in the description as well. You got anything you want to say?
Nah, you covered everything.
All right. Well, in the words of Rachel Ray, we'll see you when we see you. Bye, y'all.